Hey everybody, let me talk in this video about input. Input that means you allow users to enter some data from the screen, then when they click enter, you process their data. You are sure the data will not be saved in your app. So when you want to print information about the user, you will not save the data inside your code. The data will be static. No, you need something dynamic. You need some data will be entered. You don't need the name to be entered in this way. You need someone enter his name from the screen. So how you do that? So to get started, I will click new class, and I will give the class name input. I give it inputs, okay, and I make sure to copy whatever I did in variables. So just copy this code for variable, and I added in the input. You remember what we did in the variables. If you don't remember, I will remember you. Just define different type of variable, integer, character, double. Then if I click save, print, I will see this data on the output. So now I don't want this data to be entered directory. I want it entered by the user. So instead having the user name Hussein Rubai as directory, I need user enter his name. So first of all, I need to define static, then scanner. Scanner, that's mean we will ask user to enter some data. So a scanner will be written this way, then you name it reader. So this is variable from you will know what I mean by that. So just define scanner, then you say okay, this one will be equal a new scanner, you open bracket system dot in. That means some user enter data. So what I mean by this line? I mean by this line, I will define a scanner. That means scan input data. If you see the scanner is not defined, if I click on here, you will see it say error. You need to import scanner. When I click import, I will see scanner will be imported here. Why we do that? Because the scanner is part from library, name it Java utility scanner. So we cannot call this variable directory or get instance from that class directory without calling that library. So you have to import that library. So in Java, to import library, you say import the name of the library. So if you see, when you remove it, you cannot access to that library because it's not in your scope. So you see there is error. But when you add import, that means I could access to the class name, it's scanner reader. Defined in this way. Why I added static? Because this method is static, so you cannot use reader here without it be static. What I mean is if I guess reader, I want to change it in input by user. I say dot read line, or I want user to input. I will say next line because it's string. So that means I'm taking from the input the reader. If I remove a static, I cannot access to the reader here, because this method is static. So any data outside this method should be also static. So you have to write static. We will talk later about the static. So now the name will be input directory from the screen. Now if I save it, I click enter, the program will not execute, just give the empty screen. If I input name Hussein Rubai, enter, if you see now he give me Hussein Rubai. What the idea here? Well, the idea if I write Jana Rubai, it will give me the information for Jana, see name Jana Rubai, and all the information. I want to change everything as an input, so instead this one, the name director, I will say reader dot, here is that type is integer, so I want to take it as integer. I will say next, and this way just make sure dot next integer, because I'm taking input from integer because it's integer, so I have to read data as integer. Here the data is a float or double. I will say reader dot next should be double because I'm reading double, and this one should be reader dot, and I say reader dot next. If you see, I don't have next car, I have just only next line. But we know next line will return string for us. We could take first character on the string. What does that mean? That means if I define string, I name it input, and then I will have input for the data that already inputted as a line. So I could take first character from the line by define my gender equal input dot car at index 0. Why? Because I believe when he entered number of character, I could take first character in the string by say the name of the string dot car at index 0. Index 0 first character, index 1 second character, and continue, so now I have the gender. But if you try to run it, you'll run into a problem because this reader will confuse between this read line and this read line. So it is better. So what I mean by that, I mean that if I run it, say for example the name Hussein, and the salary 22, and the age 22, salary this one, and he gives me this error. See, if you see, he already executed this line, even the reader is not read that line. So this problem, because I told you, because this scanner, you have string reader and you have next time a so reader, so you cannot use it in some instance. So it's better to define this one reader 1 and another reader, and this one will be index reader 1, and here we go, the problem is fixed. Now if I save and run, first thing I enter name Hussein, age 27, and should be salary this one, and should be gender, should be male, enter. If you see Hussein 27, this salary, this gender. You know this is not good way for asking user to input information, so it's better to, before asking him to enter his name, I will display message enter name. So it's better to say SO, then I say this way, I say enter name in this way. I think this one is better to make it more convention, you will see. And before asking age, I say enter age, and before asking salary, I will say enter salary, and before asking gender, I will say enter gender. Okay, now if I try to run the app again, see here, this is the result. If you see enter name, I will say Jenna, then he say enter age, I will say 27, then he say enter salary, I say this is salary, and he say enter gender, I say female. You see this information, Jenna, age, salary, this is all the information that entered. The idea, if I try to stop it and run the app again, so just let me run it again. So again, Leah, enter age 1 year, salary this one, and gender female. You see this is the information. So how we input and how we output this information. You have to know there's difference between enter line and print. If you see, if I click here, if you see when I input, the input will be next line because I say a print line. If I say only print, okay, and I click stop here and save it, then try to run again, see the data, the name will be beside it. So Hussein will be beside it. Also the age, everything. So it's better when you ask someone to enter, you say only print, not a print line, because you don't want to create a new line for every input. So now you click, then save, then rerun, you will see it's different. Name, now see Hussein, age 27, salary, this is salary, and gender is male. Here you go, here the input the information. So if you see how we could input the data, how the application process the data and give us some information. So basic example we shared in this video, and thank you for listening.